I'm going to be doing. I wanted to do a couple of videos about multiplayer and the way damage works and stuff. So instead of doing that, I think I'm going to stream it because I feel like this is going to be a very long and lengthy discussion, and the only way to really properly do this is to stream it. So because I don't have the means. I mean, it would take probably 4 or 5 videos to explain all of this stuff, and they'd all be like 15 minutes long, and I just I don't really want to do that. So in lieu of doing all of that, what I want to try and do is try some of these damage formulas and kind of explain to you exactly how damage works in multiplayer. If you let's see, where was that? If you look at this picture right here, this is I pulled this off of off of one of my threads on Reddit that had a lengthy discussion about the way damage worked, and basically this was the samurai discussion and why samurai was able to do the kind of damage it did, and what break bonus was, and what that meant in terms of damage and stuff. And basically what this is all telling you right here is that whenever you have an extra modifier that you add to the equation, okay, such as elemental bonus, break damage up, or weakness bonus. Anytime you add one of those bonuses to the equation, it's multiplying your damage, okay? And anytime you can multiply your damage, you're going to be doing a lot more than if you didn't have that multiplier, okay? And that's pretty self-explanatory. I realize that's kind of like a silly statement to make, but just stay with me for just a second, okay? So what does that mean? Like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. A lot of people may not know this, but for Guardian B, okay, not necessarily Guardian A, but for Guardian B, Shiva actually does more damage than Vanilla Fang does, okay? Now, why is that? Because Shiva has the Guardian Killer passive, and that is an extra modifier multiplying your damage, okay? Whereas VNF doesn't have that. Now, when you add in all the elemental bonuses and everything else, the magic and all the base, and then all your other modifiers and stuff, and then you multiply it again by the passive killer multiplier, that's how Shiva is able to outperform usually on off element monsters. Now, for an element monster, it's totally different because you have that weakness bonus, and then that's that modifier that kind of puts VNF over the top. And that's one of the reasons why for Guard A, it's better to use Vanilla and Fang. So when you're doing 3-star fights, it's good to keep that in mind. Shiva is a great card to use. As a matter of fact, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably use Shiva by itself on a mage for an attacker and be fine. Now, I don't know about, Dark Knight or anything like that. I don't have any experience with those. But these damage formulas are very understanding how damage works in the game. And this is kind of explains exactly what I'm talking about here. Now, and just when I say use multiplayer decks, that way we have all the modifiers in there. 25, 496 for the attack, and that's with the element bonus. I believe that's calculated in there with the element bonus and the magic bonus. And because of this support guard killer right here, that's another multiplier that's not factored into this equation, okay? So 25, 492. Shiva does very well using Shiva, where you have to like spam like 8 spells and have a full 2-turn break to be able to beat Shiva, to be able to beat a Freet with the Shiva card. So these are some things that you probably should understand as an attacker, and things that you should know. This is the stuff that's going to take you to a higher level in your gameplay and make it so that you don't waste actions doing stupid stuff, okay? I see so many attackers in 3-star multiplayer right now just spamming VNF because they think that's the strongest card, when actually it's not. Now, if you take I think it was like 26,000, I think is what it was. If you take 26,000, where's my calculator? If you take 26,000 and multiply it times 1.5, that equals 39,000. Okay, so that's roughly 8,000 more than what VNF would do because of the bonus that you get. Okay, so as you can see right, and the between is a much better card to use on an unbroken off element target. But for a weakness element target, Vanilla Fang is the better to use. Okay, so I think I pretty much summed that up fairly well, and giving you guys a little bit of math to kind of prove my point. The next thing I want to try and do is give you a visual representation of this. Now, I could do this in 3-star, but I don't believe that. I guess I have to do a 3-star fight, so we'll try and find a group. Because I don't know where else in the game I can show off the Guardian passive killer. So we'll try and find a group here. Hopefully I can get in as an attacker. If I can't, then I'll just NPC it, and we'll go from there. Not looking. There we go. I'll just use NPCs if I absolutely have to. I guess we'll go in here, or I can not and say we did. All right, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna make my own party, and I'm just gonna do it myself. Do that because I don't want to sit here and wait. Let's see. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Thanks, I appreciate it, Lord. I'll if you want to do a 3-star party in a little bit, we can. I just want to try and make these points, and then I'll probably end the stream after that, because I didn't intend on this being a lengthy stream. I'm just trying to show some people some things. This is like an extended video, I guess, because I can't make a video that's longer than 15 minutes, and I got a lot of stuff to say. Hey, what's up, Yonder Jimenez? How's it going, man? Thanks for stopping by the stream. We're just talking about damage and multiplayer, specifically the interaction with the Shiva card and or opponents. Okay, it's not going to go good. We're going to restart that. I was not paying attention, and I messed up the commands. I forgot that you got to spam that first. The first turn when you're fighting an NPC, you have whatever. It'll be fine. Because if you don't do that, then the rest of the fight is really painful. So I gotta make sure I get this command in quickly. All right. Okay. So, I really do feel only that Shiva is a better card than Fenrir. Um, Fenrir breaks a little bit faster, but Shiva still does okay, especially if you have the last passive unlocked for it. Um, and Shiva has a little bit more utility in the fact that it brings defensive bonuses for you. Um, I, I don't necessarily think that any other card like that has that ability. I'm gonna go ahead and drop a couple on guard A. Ah, I think there's like a new thing where you can cancel last command or something like that. It's coming out, or I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look at that. There's a way you can cancel the last command inputted um, and stuff. I just don't remember how to do it. All right, these guys don't have any heals. That's not good. Because we're getting hit kind of hard. I need to tell them to attack the boss again so that they put curse up. Uh, all right, so he has wall on, so this isn't going to kill in two, but usually without the wall there, I kill this in 2 hits with Shiva. Hopefully these guys put curse up. If not, I'm going to have to let it go for another turn on the boss. So as you can see there, that was 52 and that was 115. Now I'm going to do one hit on VNF, and then I'm going to show you one hit on VNF, and hopefully there's enough to do one on Shiva after that. So I'm just going to dial in one VNF, one Shiva, and see what happens. And hopefully there's still enough after the VNF to do a Shiva hit. That way you can see them kind of back to back. If not, my last, so VNF did 116. Well, fuck. That was it. Was that a critical though? I feel like that was a critical. Damn. Yeah, I have to back that up and see if that was a critical or not. But anyways, attack guard A, attack guard A. Get the command in there. Oh, jeez. Usually Shiva does more damage. I don't know what was going on there. I'm almost positive that was a, but maybe I'm like being delusional, which is a real possibility. Come on. Oh my gosh. There we go. Good lord. These guys are being silly, man. No. But, anyways, I did this earlier, and I swear to God, maybe it was. I swear to God, my Shiva was hitting harder than my other stuff. Like, I'm not crazy. Or maybe I am crazy. I don't know. Now I know for 100% that VNF does more damage on guard A. I know that for a fact. Like I'm not disputing that. Um, I'm just gonna do 2 hits on guard A because um, just I usually do one more than I have to. I know one will kill it, but I usually do two. Um, all right, you guys be civil in chat now. No fighting. Take that shit to Discord. Um, So, anyways, I usually do one more than I absolutely have to, just as insurance, because I don't want to have 2 breaks. That'd be bad. Um, oh, drive. I probably should have not done that way, but it's fine. Pretty sure we'll be okay. Maybe the dancers won't be okay. Fudge. Why did that knight not? Jeez. Yep, the knight didn't drive. Well, that's not good. Alright, I'm not burning Magicite on this. I don't really care that much about it. Oh man, that was a total failure. Well, damn, dude, that's embarrassing as hell. Not only did I die, I failed to prove my fucking point. You can disprove that hypothesis by actually playing the game. Anyways, no, 2 stars wasn't fine for a demo because I needed to see the interaction between Shiva and guard B, and that's why I was doing 3 stars. But I'm almost positive that they do semi-equivalent damage. Shiva should be more damage. I don't know what was going on there that caused me to do more damage with VNF. Um, I'm almost positive it was. Yeah, the we would have won, I would have won that fight, but the AI Knight didn't drive fire orbs because I think I put in that commando attack and all he did was do autos after that. So it was partly my fault, bad control of the AIs, I guess. Um, let me check these stamps real fast and see if there is a better way to control these. Let's see, ultimates, my bad. What's this do? Cancels last order. Yep, that's what I thought. I probably need to have that one on there somewhere. Um, let's see. I'll go first. We'll do this one right here. I don't think there's any more control AI controls that I necessarily need. Anyways, I usually play attacker as my AI, which is why I set up my attacker like this. My second panel has all my AI controls. My first panel is usually the one that social stuff. Um, so that's how I usually set mine up. Anyways, look, point is Shiva. Any way you slice it, man, Shiva's still a better bring than Fafnir. I know that 100%. I'm still exploring this hypothesis about Shiva and VNF, and I think it's going to require more testing because it was yesterday. I was doing runs, and my Shiva was a lot more efficient than my VNF was, and I think it was because maybe possibly it was because the Guardian had barrier up that could play into it. Um, there's a couple of different things that could play into it. Um, so I'm gonna keep tinkering around with that, and I'm gonna let you guys know what's going on there. However, there is a second part to this stream. I did want to give you guys suggestions for 3-star multiplayer decks. Um, Now, 3-star fights are fairly hard, but the attacker role is pretty much set at this point. Um, yeah, it, Shiva is definitely better than Fenrir because you get the defensive bonus, and with that 10% extra mitigation or whatever, it allows you not to have a defensive poo poo, which allows you to bring Pixie and Water Poo Poo and do a lot more damage that way. Um, if you guys would have, if I would have made it to the break, you guys would have seen that. Oh, Fafnir. I'm sorry. Whoops. I meant Fafnir. I'm sorry. Um, Correction. Shiva's better than Fafnir. If I would have made it to the break, you guys would have seen that on my Magus, I can two-shot a Frit pretty regularly. There's rare cases where I don't get a critical and it ends up being a 3-shot, but either way, it finishes in one turn, one round of break. I can finish it in 3 actions basically, so it's like it's one turn. With this particular setup, as long as I have faith on. I don't necessarily need weakness, but it does help. The Black Mage staff on Magus is pretty damn nice. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely adds a tremendous amount of damage. And I believe there's a screenshot that's been flying around, or a video or something of somebody doing max damage with the Magus. But that video is with a max overboosted Magus. Like he could probably do max damage without Faith on. To be totally honest with you, um, I think it's more impressive that just a regular standing Magus without the max overboost is doing close to max damage. And right now, my best hit without Berserk is 825,000. Um, that, of course, was a critical, but, you know, still, I was able to increase my damage exponentially just by equipping the Black Mage staff, and it did a lot for me. So this is probably the best setup I would say right now for an attacker. Now, here in the next couple of weeks, this setup is more than likely going to change. Shiv is probably going to drop off, and you're going to bring Leviathan, which is the AoE break damage down card. No, Panel 8's not still called Magus. It's called Warlock, and this is the uniform for it. It's got a sexy little cape. I like the cape. It looks pretty good, but I just like, I don't know, I just like Magus. I guess it looks similar to a Black Mage, which is why I like it. You know, the setup for Black Mage and Magus are interchangeable. No, Spelllock is a Spellmaster's Black Mage. The setup for Magus and Black Mage are interchangeable. They're pretty much the same. As long as Black Mage has a defender, they can do a freet, and they don't do quite as much damage as a Magus does. I think my Black Mage was hitting between 400 and 500 thousand. So they hit a little bit less, but they still hit hard enough to finish the fight and potentially in one break, as long as the party's well coordinated and all the buffs are up and stuff. This is probably my best suggested setup for Dancer. Curse is such a good utility card in 3-star fights. If you've done 3-star fights, you will know that Curse is an amazing utility. One quick note about Curse that I found out: if you use a level 30 Curse or a non-enhanced version of Curse, okay, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a level 30 one. It could still be a 4-star one without the enhanced attribute unlocked. Okay, let me show you. Hang on. It could be a level 42 one without all the skills unlocked. But what you can do is you can actually go and have one player bring a non-enhanced curse and one player bring an enhanced curse. And as long as the non-enhanced curse goes first, then the guy who has the enhanced curse can follow up that guy and do overwrite the curse. So basically, what ends up happening is you could potentially have 9 turns worth of curse. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, you could potentially have 9 turns worth of curse. Where's the curse card? I can never find this thing. Oh, there he is. It's like, where's Waldo? I can't find it. So which one is the enhanced ailments? That's the last skill unlocked. So you could potentially still have up to quick cast unlocked, and not have the enhanced ailments. That's so a 3-star. It's probably best to bring like a 3-star curse and a 4-star curse. And I guess the way you could do that is if you go to the ability shop. I'm pretty sure you can buy a 3-star curse once you have the 4-star variation of it. Yeah, you can. Okay. So what you could potentially do is, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do this because I like the idea of this on my defender. It's probably better than bringing a weaken. So on your defender, what you could do is instead of bringing weaken effect, because a lot of times you don't get a chance to use it properly, you could do something like this and have a level 42 curse, a fully max curse, and then a level 30 curse, um, and then use your level 30 curse first, and use your level 42 one to override it, and that way you have potentially 9 turns worth of curse with no downtime. So the enhanced version of curse is just harder to dispel. So if a monster has faith, such as for instance, the mage versions of those new little crystal-looking guys at the new area, the ones that drop the JA spells, they have faith and they cast it on themselves. So if you had curse on him and he went to go cast faith, instead of faith canceling out your debuff, it would the debuff would stick. Or well, it has a better chance of sticking anyways. Faith can still has a chance to override it, but usually curse will stay on. And as a result, you'll take less damage. So this could potentially right here be a defender setup with a taunt, your 2 curses, and Heartful Egg. I know a lot of people are going to argue with me on this. Since curse is such a huge buff in 3-star fights, this could potentially see a lot of value. And again, this is probably controversial to some people. Another thing is that I like about this setup is Heartful Egg in conjunction with the Samurai Weapon. It has enhanced heal drive plus 4%, which means that you're going to be healing much more efficiently for the entire party. And I can drive, basically with this, I can drive like 3 or 4 hard orbs and heal the entire party to full from like, if everybody had like 1,500 to 2,000 hit points, I could pretty much heal them to full. It's very, very efficient and very effective in terms of that. Those are just, these are my single player dancer set, or yeah, these are my AI dancer setups. Um, I have in case you ever want to play with an AI, I'll go ahead and mention this real fast. Um, you want to make sure that you have your most important buff in the first position, and then your secondary buff in the middle position, and then whatever your buff that you really don't care about. Can it work on Scholar for Elemental Drive? I'll get to that in just a second. I'm not. Can you elaborate on that a little bit so that I have a little bit more detail? I think what you're trying to ask is, does it work? Does the same thing work for Scholar with the Heartful Egg and the weapon? I think is what your question is. But anyways, and then I have Artemis in the last position, so that way it doesn't. Hold on. Does Defender heal drives apply bonuses? I totally missed some of that. I'll get to that in just a second. Anyways, so this is my other guy. He's got Curse, Heartful Egg, Haste, and Moogle. Again, Haste is in the first position. Anecdotally, I feel like it just acts like a heal drive for each character as... I love you too, Snowy. Now, you do have a point. It could be that when the defender drives orbs, it acts individually. There could be... Oh. Well, you can't use the samurai weapon on Scholar, but there is an equivalent with the Red Mage staff, I suppose. Um, I'm pretty sure the Red Mage staff is the equivalent to this. But I think I see what you're saying. And no, because it specifically says life orbs. It doesn't say enhanced heal drive like as in like all drives. It just says specifically life orbs. Element drives using life orbs restore 4% more hit points. But I did notice last night, and again, this was just noticing in passing, so I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure when I was driving last night when I was playing my knight, I was driving earth and wind orbs, and it was healing the dancers. Um, Now I could be wrong about that. I have to verify that. That's very tentative. If somebody else wants to try and experiment with that and let me know, that would be great. Anyways, this is my secondary setup on my assassin. The reason I say secondary is because it has curse there. I don't like using curse as an assassin because it reduces your already low survivability, and you really need the extra damage reduction that taunt gives you. This is my pretty much my quote quote A1 setup that I use. Um, you could also, instead of bringing taunt, you could also bring the Shiva Sicarius. But as mine is not 4 stars, it does not have the 10% reduction, so I don't use it. Um, I will correct that. Trust me, very soon. Once Shiva comes back around, I do have every intention of augmenting and completing that card. That's going to be probably my number one priority for Shiva. But yeah. So this would be what I would consider primary setup for Assassin for 3-star fights. Obviously, you have as much damage reduction as you possibly can get, and then you have Artemis with the water poo poo. Did I miss a roll? Don't think I missed any rolls. So the attacker role is pretty linear. It doesn't matter if you play a Dark Knight or, well, yeah, as long as you can drive, it should be close to what your setup is. You got one nuke card, one Sicarius card with an offensive poo poo, and a force card of whatever element. And then this is probably going to be my attacker setup for Odin, I believe, because I have for Odin I have access to Earth again as a black mage, um, or I'm sorry, I have the Earth Force card. I don't mind carrying Curse as an attacker, so if I'm the only one in the party with Curse, then and since there's not really a good Earth nuke yet, there's no reason not to carry Curse. That could potentially, though, be an AoE card if so choose. But honestly, like you're not going to get much more value out of that card position than Curse. Although you could potentially bring Comet as well and do your own Comet buff. Um, that would probably be something that an attacker could do as well if Curse is somewhere else in the party. So that's my setup for Odin eventually as an attacker. What are my other 8-star jobs? Samurai is like my last one. And I'm not too concerned with Samurai at the moment. Plus 100 give how much per MP fight? So this, I think my water setup is pretty close to 100. No, that's because the offensive poo poo for water has wind seeds on it, so it's not around 100. I know this setup right here for 3-star fights gets me somewhere between 3,500 and 4K for 3-star fights. Um, so if you had 100, it would probably be between 4 and 4.5K um, skill seeds for whatever element. So it's fairly robust. And, 3-star fights, while they are difficult, if you have the proper planning and proper setup and stuff, then you can do well. Yeah, so it's going to be roughly double of what a 2-star fight would be because the modifier is like 31.5, I believe, for 3-star fights, if I remember that right. All right, I'm going to try and find one more group, and hopefully this can be a non-AI group. What's that support got? Oh God. All right, this is an example, perfect example of what a bad support is. He's got Ray of Hope, and he's got just terrible setup altogether. He's weighted too heavily with 3 orb cards. Like right now, do I know any good samurai setups? Oh boy. I'll get to that in just a second. So the reason why this is a good setup is because he's weighted too heavily with 3 hard orb cost cards. And in multiplayer, to be totally honest with you, Machina and Rem is a terrible card. Drain is not a very good effect in multiplayer, and Ray of Hope is actually semi-playable. That's like kind of excusable, maybe, if he had haste and barrier, but he doesn't. So as a result, that setup is kind of blah. I don't like it. It's bad. Let's see what the samurai is doing. That's probably an example of what not to do as a samurai. Anyways, what was that last question? I'll get to that in just a second. Sorry, Jen. I was not paying attention to that when you asked the question. All right, so a good samurai setup. Um, I'm assuming you're talking for multiplayer. If you're talking for multiplayer, then let's see, where's the setup that I can kind of trash? All right. The the all right, so for samurai, for a free, it's really hard because you don't have access to fire and you pretty much get owned. But if I were to play samurai in multiplayer, and I'm not suggesting that you do, because I'm going to be totally honest with you, the ability to do damage on a samurai is pretty low. If I got 2 cards, need 2 hard orbs, and 1 need 3 orbs, would that be good enough? Okay, so you can carry a 3 hard orb spell in multiplayer and be fine as long as it's not more than. If you do more than 1, then chances are you're not going to be able to utilize all of your rotation properly. And you're kind of pigeonholing yourself into casting multi-buff spells pretty much as much as possible. And really, honestly, like you can't keep up with the healing. You just can't. Like, so carrying one is fine. Carrying more than one is bad. Um. All right. So for let's see. For samurai, for uh, it would probably be this right here. Fire poo poo. Water poo poo. That would probably be my setup for samurai for Ifrit if I was to do it. Um, and the reason why I forego Pixie here, Pixie's a great card, but you need that defensive poo poo really, really bad. You also need to have Shiva pretty bad, um, which means to carry Ice Sword, which also sucks because let's face it, Samurai can't break an orange bar to save their life. Also, the weapon would change. It would be, it would not be the stock weapon. It would be the Knight's. Yeah, it would be the Knight weapon. So that would be my Samurai multiplayer setup. Hunter is good for multiplayer. If you want to see the difference between, I'm sorry, if you want to see the difference between the two swords, there's the difference right there. You lose a little bit of attack value, but you gain a ton of magic. Um, and you gain a little bit of crit as well. Or lose a little bit of crit, excuse me. Or for Ifrit. I don't recommend that you use Samurai on Ifrit. And I don't recommend you use them on really honestly the only fights that Samurai could see play are Odin and Hashmail. Specifically Hashmail. You could still do decent damage um, with those elements compared to the other classes. Like the other classes don't have their major damage cards. Now, eventually, we're gonna get the Final Fantasy VII batch, and in the Final Fantasy VII batch is the Cloud card, which is an Earth-based multi-hit card, and it's a warrior card that's gonna allow Samurai to do a lot more damage and be a little bit more competitive. But for right now, like Samurai just does not have the magic to do enough damage to be competitive, and I really hate saying that, but it's just the truth. Um, Even with the break damage bonus and everything like that. Now, at 4-star, the effects was not that noticeable because the difference in magic between mages and samurai was really not that great, and then samurai made up for it, but with the break damage bonus. Good setup for warrior would be something similar to this, um, without the. I mean, you probably don't have heartful eggs, so you could replace that with like another taunt or a weaken effect or some sort of debuff that would aid the party. Um, and if you don't have the curse card, then just bring. If you don't have the curse card, bring another taunt, I guess. And so it would be like 2 taunts with a weaken effect and like a maybe a single target card or like flame force or something like that. That way you could drive fire orbs on a more regular basis. So that would probably be for warrior. Hunter and assassin are pretty much the same setup. To be totally honest with you, there's no real difference between the breakers as far as their setup is concerned. You're pretty much standard. I mean, 2 poo poos, Artemis, and a taunt. That's pretty much the standard breaker setup right now for all classes. The only variation for that would be Assassin being able to bring Curse if the party doesn't have Curse and you're the only one with it. I don't recommend Assassin carrying Curse in the party if there's more than one player in the party with Curse, because they need all the help with their survivability that they can get. But the breaker setups are pretty much the same all around. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could bring a single target Sicarius card instead of that taunt. But other than that, there's not much variation. I hope that answers your question, Bazinga. And hey, what's up, dude? How's it going? All right, so I'm gonna try and get a party on my mage. Hopefully, I can get it. I'm gonna test this Sicarius damage one more time. And see what happens if I can find a decent enough party. The problem right now is there's just not a lot of people playing 3 stars, and that makes it really difficult to find fights. Um, I'm really kind of disappointed with the way things are going right now. I think the population for 3 stars is really depressed because um, you can find that in the shop. I'll show it to you here in just a second. All right, it doesn't look like there's any good parties um, at the moment. Actually, that guy's okay. The antennas are going to come back eventually. There's going to be another poo poo event probably next 4 to 5 months, I'd say. I don't know exactly when, but I know it's coming eventually. But for right now, the antennas is here in the item shop under the cards. As you can see, they're for sale right now. Actually, it rotates on a day-to-day basis, and you can buy 5 at a time. So they're 300 magicite a piece, though. They're hella expensive. I don't think they're worth it, to be totally honest with you. Poo-poos are pretty clutch for breakers right now, but outside of that, you don't really need them. So if you don't play a breaker, then don't worry about them, because this is too expensive. Okay, like it's gonna cost you 1,200 magicite to augment a poo-poo to 3 or 4 stars. I don't remember exactly. I'd much rather spend like recommend you to spend that magicite on a growth star. It'd be a much more efficient use of your magicite. All right, so I got that question answered. Try one more time to find a party. Oh, uh, I have no idea what that setup is. Okay. See, this is what's really frustrating is that people are trying to bring all these whack setups to multiplayer. I'll join these guys because this seems like a decent party. If I can get in there. I don't like that he doesn't have barrier. And he doesn't have haste either. Uh, like If he had Ghetto Haste, like his setup would be fine. Like if he had Ghetto Haste instead of Yuna, that'd be good. But he doesn't, so I'm not doing that. Do you think Sin will always Assassin will always need a defensive poo poo? There's no way around that. So Assassin unfortunately has very very limited space as to what it can bring. I don't know why this guy's see and this is another frustrating thing. You have all these players who have bad information trying to make parties as well. Like not everybody in the party needs a poo poo. As long as you have access to be able to drive fire, then you don't necessarily need a poo poo. The people who need, I'm not joining that party. The people who need poo poos um, are the people with low hit points that can't survive a big blow. That's the people that need poo poos. All right, this guy's okay, I guess. All right, so this is a semi-acceptable group right here, I guess. I'd much rather prefer the assassin to be carrying a defensive poo poo, but Tyro is fine. It has defensive multiplayer bonuses and stuff. Um, and this is a good setup for Warrior. He's got looks like he's got 2 taunts with Curse, and I think that's a single target card, so that's not a bad setup for Warrior. As long as there's Curse in the party, then chances are the party will be fine. The only real I probably should say that the only required buffs for you to have for 3-star, for at least for a free on a support, this guy right here, the defender has so many actions and there's so many attacks going out. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up. That warrior looks pretty cool with his 8-panel uniform on. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty impressive. Warrior could potentially be decent for tower as well. It could be one of those classes that sneaks up on people and turns out to be pretty good. Um, I'm not 100% sure on that though. I think he was trying to say he wanted to taunt, but I really don't care about the damage going on to the Guardian. Um, I'm more concerned with the orange bar. All right, so here's a good opportunity. I'm going to use one VNF and one Shiva, and then I'll probably just alternate them, to be totally honest with you. All right. Do VNF, Shiva, VNF. That should be enough. Problem is, I'm not going to have orbs next turn. Another good thing about augmenting your force cards, guys, is that you only have one down turn for your force cards, so it really saves you quite a bit of actions. Well, okay. That just kind of deflated all of the air in that tire. How did I die? I don't have freaking. I'm not spending Magicite. Ah, thank you. That is frustrating. That's all get out. All right. So, anyways, now I have like max actions. I don't even know how I died. Another reason why force card augmentation is nice is because you get a lot more healing and survivability off of it as well because you have it up more. Although um, that was probably a poor example of that. That's yet another reason why I don't like casting force on the first turn. So um, I don't. I don't recommend doing that. That way you can, if you use force on the second turn, then you can get a little bit of a heal off of it um, before you lose it. Or yeah, okay, Javier or Javier, excuse me. I holy crap, I butchered your name just now. Sorry, dude. Javier, the force cards at 5 stars will eventually get the same buff that the poo poo gives, which does increase your damage. But at 4 stars, it does not have that. So it does, that as of right now, they do not increase your damage. At 4 stars, it gives you the N water effect, which is the same as the poo poo. All right, so the best way to get 4 star cards is to augment them. Um, however, if you don't have very many 4 star cards, then pulling a couple of times with the 4 star summons can be beneficial to kind of save you some. The problem is it's a gacha system, so it's totally random, so you may not get something that you even want. I heard some questions about the Final Fantasy X set as well. I don't know exactly what you guys are talking about. All right. You do max damage on 3 star freight. That's cool, man. Um, like, I'd break if I could, but I can't, man. Like, you're gonna have to talk to the breaker about that one, cause again, if you don't have a whole lot of 4-star cards, then pulling from the 4-star summons is not necessarily bad, but it's not something that you want to be doing on a regular basis. Um, all right, so here's a little subtle nuance that a lot of mages don't know. If you use your ultimate first and then you cast your Icy Brains, your ultimate gives you faith. Okay, so if your mage is like slow and not slow on his buffs and doesn't keep him up like he should be, then you can give yourself faith if you use your ultimate first. Now, there's certain situations where you don't want to do that, but most of the time that's a good idea. So I got Ruinga. There goes my faith buff, and now I can finish him with the Icy Brands that I queued up. There's a 656 hit with the Black Mage staff. So that was fairly good right there. I don't know why I died. I still don't understand how the hell I died. Like, usually as an attacker, I never die. I'm usually one of the, like, it's usually me and then the defender. So if I'm dying, there's something seriously going wrong in the party. Because mages have quite a bit of hit points. And as long as you have, unless they get focused. Yeah, Lucille Brand is Vanilla and Fang is okay. Everybody calls it Lucille Brand. It's actually the card is called Vanilla and Fang. So if you hear me say VNF, that's what I'm talking about. But this is the card, and the ability is called Lucille Brand. All right, so here's the thing: as an attacker in multiplayer, I understand what you're saying. For 3-star fights as an attacker, your actions are precious, very, very, very precious. Now, if you feel like the party is kind of slow in generating orbs, then by all means, go ahead and do what you have to do to generate orbs. But it's at your discretion. Otherwise, you want to save your actions because you're gonna have to spam like 5 spells to get rid of the orange bar. It takes a lot of spells to get rid of the orange bars on the Guardians, and then it's gonna take 3 to 4 spells to kill the boss, potentially even 5 if you're a black mage. Um, so you really want to try and not use any actions if at all possible. Like if you noticed during that fight, I was hella stingy with my actions. The only time I really started to use actions for attacks was after I died and I got back up, and then I had like 11 actions because I had died and stuff. Okay, so try not to do that if you possibly can. Like, yeah, the defender and the support, as well as the breaker, like those three should be the ones primarily doing most of the acts for the party. Another thing that I see a lot of, and I'll go ahead and do one more fight to display this, and this time I'm going to use my dancer. But another thing that I see a lot of people doing on dancer, like if they have a setup similar to this where you only have one spell and it's usually on a cooldown and you don't have to worry about casting it right. I see so many supports driving all of their orbs every turn. Okay, that's not how you should play a support. Now there are instances where you want to drive your orbs and stuff, and I get that. But for the most part, you only really want to drive 2 elements at a time, at most. Um, Corbin, let me see. Let me finish this multiplayer fight, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I want to help you out. Just remind me, okay? Um, hold on, just a minute. Yeah, Corbin. Chris would be a very good person to talk to. He's very good um person. He does a lot of research. He does his work. Uh, what is this? I mean, he has Artemis. I have a feeling this is another one of those breakers that's trying to do damage. I'd rather not party with somebody like that. There's another one. Uh, here's a setup that I see a lot on attackers. They bring a defensive poo poo with Moogle. It's totally not. You don't need that stuff to survive, guys. And Moogle, your support should have Moogle if or well the faith buff. And not only that, but since you're a mage, you can use your ultimate to get faith if needed, as I just displayed in my previous fight. So bringing faith makes no sense. That should be a force card. I don't like any of these groups. All right, I'll run with these guys. This is probably going to suck, but whatever. Like this defender's fine. That's an okay defender setup. I don't like the mage's setup, and this guy's gonna try and do damage. I just know it. Like he's gonna be burning a ton of actions trying to use jack shot. I don't understand why dragoons think that they need to do damage as a breaker. Um, breaker is such a kind of a lazy job. You don't really have to do much except auto attacks. I mean, that's pretty. So here's an example of what I'm talking about when healers. I say healers are driving too much. If you notice my orb situation, right after I used my curse and my heal and stuff, I had basically two water orbs and two earth orbs. Now a lot of people would try and drive one of those. There's no point. Um, Go ahead and just drive your wind orbs and get those out of the way. And then next turn, you won't have to worry about driving wind. You could just drive one of your other elements, like earth or water, just depending on what you draw. So we got a 5-turn curse there. That's good. That's going to allow us to get set up fairly well. Um, I'm not really too worried about the survivability of the party here. Everybody has fairly high hit points. And the defender just drove fire, so we should be okay. As long as I can get barrier up by next turn, which it looks like I will. So this is a fairly good start for a 3-star multiplayer fight. Um, and I'm pretty happy with the progress here. So what you could do here is you could do 3 attacks and then drive your earth. And what that's going to do is it's going to set up for you to be next turn, or 2 turns from now, excuse me, you're going to want to drive water. Um, so basically, what I'm doing is that I'm setting myself up and allowing myself to only have to drive once per turn. And that's really ideally what you want to try and do. That way you can drive and support the group with 2 auto attacks. Um, the party hasn't taken a lot of damage here, and we're not about to break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my faith buff. Actually, we are about to break because the Dragoon is going 8. Yeah. I'm still going to hold my faith buff though. And I'll go ahead and drive water. Just go crazy with your attacks. Make sure that you break. That's the most important thing. He's lucky I followed that up with auto attacks because cast weaken and I see from wearing off. Now here I'm going to go first and drive my wind. Normally I do 2 autos there, but and let the knight do his attacks because he has 4 attacks this turn, or 4 actions, or rather. So I have old videos for multiplayer for every role. I have not currently done anything for 3-star just yet. I'm going to. I probably will do that very, very soon. All right, so curse is going to wear off here soon. Um, I messed that up. I probably should have driven my wind first. The order in which you drive also matters. You got to pay attention to this gauge down here. If you have less of an orb, you should probably drive that first. It just depends on what your bar is at. You really got to pay attention to it. So, like if I were to drive these 4 water orbs right now, it would just reset back to its original formation of every element is at a third. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold. I'm just going to do some autos and I'll go last. And drive at the end. The party's about to get hit pretty hard because curse is wearing off, but we do have we still have barrier up and we have the 5 turns of fire resist, so we should be okay. And my heals are in a fairly decent rotation. You also have to pay attention to your rotation on your heals, which is one of the reasons why I held the faith buff instead of casting it when it was initially up. Because I wanted to make sure that we had the heal for the party. I can't get the yellow gauge, man. There's nothing I can do. There's literally nothing I can do to help you with that. All right, so I'm getting close to where I can reapply curse, so I don't want to drive my earth orbs anymore. Um, I should be fine as long as I recast haste next turn. Actually, I can apply curse now, I believe. Yeah, so I should be good. And then faith, drive, do 3 autos, and go last. As much as possible, do when you're in 3 stars, try to never do one attack by itself. It's a total waste of actions. You need to do at least 2. 3 would be best. That way you can get the bonus orbs off of consecutive hits and get that bonus. Now, usually here is where like I could do an ultimate and have a bar full of rainbow orbs and not have to worry about ever needing hard orbs and stuff, but and break guard 8 at the same time. But I'm not going to do that because I want to try and save it for the boss if at all possible. This is a perfect example of a Dragoon kind of wasting his actions. What he's trying to do is he's using his ultimate to break guard 8 instead of saving it for the boss, which I feel is a mistake. Because if the Dragoon and we both save our ultimates for the boss, we can break it probably within 1 turn. But instead, he's kind of being stupid. He did manage to kill guard 8 by himself, which is fine, I guess. But at the same time, like, he wasted his ultimate to do that. I don't agree with that play. Now haste is going to drop off here for just a turn, which kind of sucks. So I'm going to try and save actions here, if at all possible. To get the invite code off of Discord, you go into the Discord and you look at create instant invite is what you're looking for. It's at the top left, top on the top left corner of Discord when you open up the all the chat options. I don't know why this guy thinks he's gonna break. I don't know. This is gonna be close. I think he wants me to go first, so that way I help him. There's a chance he doesn't break this though. I don't know if that's enough, even with boost up. Oh, okay. Never mind. He got weakness, so he should be fine now. So all in all, this was an okay group, I guess, even though I don't agree with some of the Dragoons' plays, but that's fine. And of course, the mage did mage things and killed a freak. Yeah, I'm not happy about the Dragoon there, but it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. Makes warriors do stupid things, huh? Everybody's got their EP, man. They gotta feed it somehow. They can try and do damage with it. That makes a whole lot of sense. On a 3-star fight. I mean, it is what it is. Corbin, awesome. You joined Discord. Awesome. If you want to hit me up in chat on Discord, I'll probably be there later tonight within the next 2 to 3 hours, I would say. And you can chat with me personally, and I'll try to answer any specific questions that you may or may not have about the game and try to help you out as much as I possibly can. So anyways, guys, I'm pretty sure that I was able to display quite a lot there. I mean, I guess I could go on my breaker one time and show you guys a 3-star fight on my breaker, maybe. Do you guys have any interest in seeing that? In lieu of that, I could maybe try Samurai. Okay, so in the shop, in the item shop, there's an option over here under guild items. It's not there now because I've purchased all of them, but you can purchase coins for your completed classes, and for those completed classes, you can if you have the coin, stats is where whatever outfit I want. Watch. If I switch over to Carnivalist, the stats don't change. Same for Dancer. It's because I bought the coin. So I have them set up here because I like that uniform. Well, sort of. I mean, it's better than this. Okay, that's just whatever. I don't know what that is. And this is the form that I like to use. It's just the first assassin, regular assassin. I think you could actually turn the coin off as well. Yeah, there's an option where you could turn the coin off. And that way you can still see the stat bonus gains. That's pretty cool. I'm not going to save any of that, but that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Learn something new about the game every day, guys. That's why I make videos. Alright. I'll do one run on my breaker if I can find a party. And then I'm going to call it a stream after that. Because this is already much longer than I actually wanted it to be. People started asking me questions, and I got to answering them, and I was just like having fun with it, I guess. I don't know what that is. Okay. Keep looking. Like, this kind of shit just makes you look stupid right here. I'm sorry, it just does. Let me put in my comment all 8 panels jobs only, please, and like be really a big dick about who I want to party, and then bring like this crap setup to the party. Like seriously, why are you using drain player, especially on 2-star? I'm sorry, but Aerith and Tifa is not good. It cannot. You can't keep Aerith and Tifa up reliably enough for such important buffs such as haste. So it really is just a subpar card. At least right now. Later on, you might see some Aerith and Tifa play in multiplayer, but right now it's just not good enough. Another Aerith and Tifa Tyro user. This is just too heavy on your orb usage to be viable. I'm sorry, it just is. You're not going to be able to keep up with the heals on that with that particular setup. And here's another Dragoon damage dealer probably. Why do you want 2 breakers? You're playing a Dragoon. This is why 3-star fights are really frustrating right now. It's better to go into Discord and use the Discord. I'm going to go check over there real fast and see if I can find a preset group. Doesn't look like there's any groups going on right now. Okay. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and just call it now. I can't find a solid party for my breaker to join, and I don't want to go in and die, because then I'll feel like I'm obligated to use Magicite, and I don't want to. But I appreciate all you guys coming out and supporting the stream. I really appreciate all your support on YouTube as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section on this video, and I'll try to get to them as soon as possible. Again, I really appreciate watching. I hope I'm providing you guys with the information and stuff that you need to be competitive in this game. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to coddle new players and stuff. Although I don't mind helping new players, it's just what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get you to be competitive in the top tier of this game and stay competitive in the top tier of this game. And that's kind of the information that I'm trying to shoot for. If you guys feel like I'm not giving it to you, or you need some more information about something, always leave a comment and let me know if there's anything you want me to do for you. And I will try to get to you guys as soon as possible, okay? Anyway, that's the end of the stream, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you